Good morning, everyone. So, not much happened yesterday. We did have a down day, but no break of support, no break of any resistance. The sloppy trading range continues. You know, little vicious moves up, little vicious moves down. It holds the support. And of course, the spring being wound means how long can it go on? Well, we'll see if something wants a break today. Let's see. As far as news goes, nothing of significance. A couple of Fed guys talking. Oh, well, that was last night. Tomorrow, we may deal with this until FOMC minutes tomorrow, and then the inflation report. Thursday and Friday numbers. We may be into this choppy mess for the next couple of days. However, some bearish undertones as far as downgrades. I think Apple was yesterday. Microsoft, was it yesterday or today? And now American Express. So you're picking on some big ones out there to voice opinions that these things should come down. And if they do, oh, we talked about financials yesterday and midday, where the financials were looking decent. I'll get to SPX, whatever, but they came down yesterday. Everything's gapping up, not everything, but most things are gapping up a little bit, but not in a significant way that it's violating any support or resistance that would say, hey, as far as things I'm looking at, this is a go. It's not. It's just more of the same. And just look at KRE financials, doing absolutely nothing, just chopping it within this range there. Peek at TBT. That's up some more, right into that pivot. So part of my thoughts yesterday when I did the midday update was, okay, interest rates have come up a bunch, coming up to this resistance area. Maybe they start pulling back. Crude oil made a heck of a run. So here it is, crude oil starting to come back. And so if crude oil starts coming back, it is maybe further, and the transports being down at least near this pivot overall, they're just running in place. It's just a mess. If they were to start to lift up, so interest rates coming down a bit, oil coming down a bit, interest rates coming down a bit, these going up, maybe the market could get some legs. And so in part, we need to see financials get turned, showing some strength that moves the S&P in a relatively large way. Now this MX downgrade, we'll have to see what some of the broker dealers doing and other banks, if they start to give it up. JPM, which looked good, was near the high of the day with a green bar, near that pivot turned into a topping tail bar. That's gapping up a little bit. So, the short to the long story is things are running in place. There's some signs that are troubling. There's some signs that maybe things could be okay. I'm kind of all over the place here, but breadth is coming to a bullish level. Sentiment is dead neutral. We have no alignment. Equity put call ratio, this, down here. So, while this is going sideways, this tends to go down. But in the more bullish market environment, as this goes sideways, breadth goes sideways. So things are deteriorating under the hood. So if things should break to the downside, sentiment coming here, we'd look for a low. We're not there yet. So we're just doing the factory work. What's doing well, what's doing poorly, what's continue to run in place. And of course, the semiconductors are, I think, part of the key to this, in that do they follow through? Because a lot of them have what I've referred to as this hook pattern. And when you have this momentum move higher, it pulls back and it begins to hook up. And so this morning, they're just running in place. So stocks like, MU, you can see that different variation of a hook. That was higher. Now it's a little lower. There's no indication there. Intel, just a different variation, but they all are preceded by a momentum move higher. So strong buying. And then as it pulls back and begins to hook, this would have to take out that high there. This one was discussed yesterday, just a different variation, but a strong momentum move and a hook. How is spring winding? Spring winds by prices beginning to consolidate, the highs getting lower, the lows getting higher. It's just chopping around. And now this is gapping up. Just, in other words, just kind of a running in place. Now, if we look at something like XLK, here we had this, we talked about this, the lows getting higher, the highs getting lower. And now we've got this even, and it's just tightening up. So at some point, something's got to give. It should. I mean, we're talking about the broader markets here in a lot of sectors. We're not talking about an individual stock that, maybe something's got to give with the news coming. But, the markets here have been consolidating this move, this big whippy action here. So if you start from, here, there was the strong move, and now it collapses, and now it rallies, and it doesn't go down as much. And now, it goes up, not as up as much. Now it pulls back. We're getting this sideways price action. The spring's getting wound. Something's got to give. It could be continued more chop, but, as we get into, we're getting toward the holidays. It's now less than 30 days to the election. As what information starts to unfold, which is what I think the markets want. They want some information to trade on. And that's what we're waiting. You want more chop. Well, you must be heavily focused on doing credit spreads. So with credit spreads, you love the chop. And if you do SPX, the uncomfortable, I pick the widest, right? So they rarely ever get hit. If they do, you're going to have, I don't know how they say it. Something to God. I forget how the expression goes. It can be quite nasty, but look, those strikes rarely get hit. And it's because we look at the charts, we see where, and I'll show you something else here because it doesn't happen all the time. So we look at, SPY, we see where it's trading. As we know, it's trading in the middle of the range. You can see the trading range there. So we go to SPX. Nothing even got close yesterday because nothing's moving. So here's today. Here's what it is. The call strike is closer, right, than the put strike. The largest open interest, there isn't a large open interest, an excessively large open interest in the call strikes. This is growing. It's getting close to 10,000, which is significant. So if the market was to sell off and come down here, and it isn't some support there, and there's a whole number of 5,600, it would probably bounce from there. And sometimes they bounce violently. And it depends on how they come down. So if it comes down rapidly, be aware that this number has a large open interest of put options at that strike, and they would likely close those with a profit, and that would help drive prices back up again. So keep that in mind. All right, interest rates. Pushing up a little bit. Markets are up. They don't really care. I don't know how long they can not care. We looked at TBT. Here's the 10-year. So it's a little extended. Maybe that is getting ready to pull back. And looking around, we're not, everything is kind of the same. Gold is a bullish consolidation, kind of a bull flag there, working its way down to the 20. It is extended a little bit on the weekly, as you can see, a little extended there. So far, it's consolidating bullish price action. The Russell probably not doing much of anything either, as you can see. It's just running in place. IWM, little gap up. It's not doing a darn thing. Financials we looked at. We looked at KRE, FDN. That's pushing up. Well, it's down here this morning, wherever it's down here a little bit. It was down yesterday. So this had a very nice, strong move. We're keeping an eye on this to see how much this consolidates because, that broke out. And this is what we call a greater than 100% retracement. And we expect the momentum to stall, but that is strength. So if this can hold up in this area here, this is something that might be a go in a few days or a week or so. We'll have to see. Yeah. Mid caps, consolidating up at the top of the range. So overall, it's kind of what news is going to move this market because overall, nothing much is happening. And it was preceded by, whether we're looking at hook patterns or consolidations, they were preceded by a strong move. Strong moves create what we call voids. So as they go sideways, the theoretical is that they build support. You can see when it creates a pivot after a strong move. This is universal. Even though I'm looking at mid caps, the thought process is the same. It creates a pivot. It's now created support that wasn't there. When it gets tested, we see if buyers show up again. Now it broke, but it popped back up again. So whether we get these ups and hooks or ups and sideways, they suggest a move higher. The sideways ones become more critical because they have this large void below and it's created this support, whereas a larger sideways support, which is going to leave a whole lot of overhead supply overhead that could help drive prices down versus, say, semiconductors, which have, just formed this one pivot and moved up. So a break of either of them is not a positive, just that they may react in different ways, but both reactions will be bearish. But if we're just waiting to see what's going to move these things with a bias that if they don't break down, they should be able to move up. And we just don't have the information yet to act on those. I mean, you can put on starter positions, of course. I mean, this one here looks a little bit better in that I spoke about this in the weekend letter, that at least this had a bottoming tail bar. It poked up and got this bottoming tail bar. And if it could start to move from there, this is where I think the real action could be. Where, these that underperformed can start to play some catch up. And we wait. We're waiting. Gold we looked at, silver. Well, Roberto, you say you want sideways a little more, but what do you want to happen after the sideways? Or maybe you don't care because whichever way they go, it should be significant, whether it's up or down. Okay, up and away. Well, if it breaks to the downside, you should have a plan for that too. And so silver just consolidating, messy there. Oil we looked at. Copper pulling back. That had a nice strong move. So as we look around different markets, different sectors, we get pretty much different variations of the same where there's, either a lot of sideways price action or a little sideways price action. So this one, had that strong move in September as well, but it's just too much of a mess. Um, Airlines held up pretty darn well in the face of oil going up there, but these are extended. So there's just nothing to do there either. What really showed strength, it just hasn't consolidated enough. Uh, Biotech's coming down to support, down to that pivot. So it's just more of the same. And we just have to be patient, pick and choose as we always do. And at some point, if you're setting alerts like I am, on different things that look like they could go one way or another, what'll happen is a lot of alerts will start going off, and you have to be prepared for that too, because sometimes that can be quite annoying. But we'll see which way it goes. It's kind of like the fire alarm is going off, you know, and not let's say yelling fire, but it could be a positive thing. But you can't be watching all of these things. So um, set alerts, be sparingly about that, not to go too far. But yeah, we'll wait this out, and we'll see maybe at the end of the week with this economic reports. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, the pre-market's holding pretty well, but there's just no good void. We have ideas, like as always. Two that were on our radar yesterday. Nope. SMCI, we wanted to do a put spread. I posted pre-market, but the gap's gonna mess it up. Humana, I had on my watch list here for a day trade. Look at this beautiful base here. End of day base with a void, but it's gapping up, $6. So that's gonna mess that up. Autodesk, all spread under the low. Here's our buddy Raul on YouTube. AOS. Yeah, you're Raul, you're good at finding buy setups. Yeah, that looks great. Now, this is a very, very good example of a buy setup. The first one didn't have good support there because it went up and it was a climo. The second bar gapped up, got slammed back down. It's yesterday's bar that makes this so nice of a. So now it's a 3-bar turn. But the fact that that took out the lows and then closed with an engulfing range expansion bar is what makes that very nice setup. I'm going to set an alarm 8820. It will probably get, or 25. It'll probably go off with the open with the market gapping up. And Charlie. Yeah, it's still up 3, up a little bit. I mean, it's fine. Just set an alarm. I like the other one a lot better. Um, K-Web. I saw, look at this nasty gap down in China stocks. And the only news I saw was, well, two pieces, I guess, something about with listing shares here. But I read something that said China stocks down because they expected more stimulus. Like, really? I mean, I don't know where that statement or belief came from, but we've been watching these for call spreads. I got a couple of them up here, but let's in the morning session. I mean, the gap is so big though, that we're not going to get premium over yesterday's high, most likely. But these stocks are getting careened. And here's Asher, so it's China 300, I think. Look at that 36. Look at this gap. And we were talking about the bullish move in China, way back here. And we just said it's a fact of life. There's risk in trading China stocks. Okay, so yeah, they wanted more than they got. My AOS alarm just went off, so I'll put that in a window. AOS. So um, yeah, I mean, as a general rule, yeah, we want bounces, continuation patterns, but yeah, these are monster gaps. So you got to let it trade probably for 30 minutes and then see if we can do a day trade with a stop over the day's high. But I was bear was today Tuesday, last Friday, I was bearish on this Climo and it was gapping down and look, it ripped in our face. I'm like, all right, I guess it doesn't want to turn today. But I said in the green room, I guarantee you this is going to run out of steam. It's just a matter of what day. And, hence the gap down. Um, a firm here, a firm, I forget the news. Maybe they're Daku's the one that's being added to the S&P 400. Hey man, I'm so mad. We were in this, and this bottoming tail bar just took out our stop by a few pennies. Man, nothing we could do about it except maybe re-enter. You said, all right, you got me. You got me, range expansion. I'm gonna enter, again at the end of the day. But now the gap's too big. There's AOC. Microsoft got a downgrade. So I wonder if that news might have been brewing yesterday. But the fact that it's negating the gap down and now positive, 30-minute high might even be a put spread for Friday. AXP downgrade, so breakout failure. All right, this is a firm I like a lot also. It's a buy setup, multi-bar turn, gapping over this base. So that looks fantastic. Maybe a 30-minute high. I have it in the bottom right here. Roblex, I just saw tanking. I had no idea the news on this. I didn't even look, but I know it's not earnings. So that's a nasty gap. Nasty. So now it's down $11, top of the range bottom. Let's watch that 30-minute high. What's spread idea? Sam, I am. What's the news here? I forget. Maybe they're increasing the dividend or something. I don't know. But put spread idea 30-minute high on Sam, but I think he's usually really spready. ACCD had earnings. No pattern though. Pepsi had earnings. Those are the only two I see. Negated the gap. Negated the bearish gap as of now, but still no pattern. Oh, really? All right, thanks, Don. I'm telling you that Hindenburg has power. Do y'all remember that commercial before there was direct access trading? Uh, what's his name? It's showing my age, I guess. Oh yeah, it says when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Do you remember that commercial in the 70s when you had just full service brokers where you paid $100 commission? That's what Hindenburg is. Hindenburg is a E.F. Hutton. Futu, I mean, big gaps, but um, hey Don, I think this was the one we were talking about selling the 150s naked the other day, and then I think it was Tiger. Yeah, Tiger yesterday, remember? You were talking about the 19s or something like that. So that's what we call a gap and crap. It's a piercing pattern. So that's a definite sign of a short-term top right there. Um, WBA, possible bottoming pattern here. Dumpster diving. It's on a downtrend, daily, weekly, monthly. Well, I'm going to set an alarm. 889. GNRC. We bought a third lot of this yesterday. Breakout, daily, weekly, monthly. They make generators. So I guess, I don't know why it took so long to get moving. I mean, they're saying because of the storm, people need generators. I get that, but we've known about this storm for a couple days now, and so I don't know. But I sold some naked puts on it myself. Alex, this is your Viddle. Nice closing breakout. 10-minute high or so. That looks good if the markets are holding. I'll put that in the window. Viddle. APD. Big old pro gap yesterday. Oh, that was not even on earnings yesterday. So I wonder what caused that. But that's bullish, daily, weekly, monthly. So I'm going to watch it for a couple days. Northeast bottoming pattern, but now it's gapping down. So no interest. There's Tiger, Intel. I like over Friday's high. Friday's high because now we got little, you know, small tail retest. Team is a 1, 2, 3. Abbott, it's kind of a W with a new low reversal. It just doesn't have a great void, and unfortunately, there's no good put premium, but you got to buy set up on the weekly. Lima Whiskey, this was on earnings, a bearish gap negated. I like the 15, kind of an inverse head and shoulder. I'm gonna set an alarm. Or wait, I'm showing it up here at $70. RTX we're already in, but it looks fantastic to even add. RPD looks great over Friday's high. Talking about Abbott, my alarm just went off. But it has room 116 and 117. I wish it had more premium for put spread. Oracle up alarm, TMOS up alarm. We're both long those. Yeah, so we got lucky here in South Florida. We're out of the cone of the storm, but man, poor Fort Myers and Tampa are going to get whacked. They get with the water. They got massive evacuations going on now. Oracle, I will set a new up alarm. 174. Low alarm 170. TMOS. I remember this was when we had the conversation yesterday about my break-even alarm went off.
Up and away.
Yeah, I'll set a new alarm 20850. Up alarm 211. If it hits 211, then I'm going to move stop to the day's low, or maybe break even. We'll see. A Nitra alarm. It's an early alarm, but I kind of like this red green at resistance. I got railroad track 2050 bullish weekly. I don't want it to keep running. Ideally, it chops around until after 10 a.m. Nitra. Put that in a window. IWM falling the most from the pre-market consolidation. Humana, I talked about pre-market being a day trade, but it was up too much. I wish it didn't gap, and then that would have been a beautiful day trade. Humana, I just love that 15-minute chart, but it's it's at the top of the range now. But hey, that'd be a put spread for Friday. Now we can do a tighter one. Yesterday's low. Get this AOS now. See, now I'll set an alarm at 8805 and then not worry about it. Spiders and diamonds breakout failure on the 5-minute at resistance. So, no reason to start getting aggressive. Go to. Yeah, but I also use my pre-market when it's liquid. So, there's buyers there at 103. But it's a bearish gap. If you wanted to short under under that 103, stop the high and see if it works. Because otherwise, there's no logical place to put a stop. I mean, not reasonable at least. A MER bottoming pattern of ours stopping out. Piece of garbage. Greg's favorite pattern. Yeah, Nick looks great. Yeah, I'll set a new alarm now at 130, 150. Or 130, 175. Serve alarm. Okay, that's stopping out. I had tightened the stop. We don't only had a third left. That's a big wild range in the first 6 minutes. Stupid swirly.
Starbucks. Maybe we'll give it a 30-minute high. See what happens here.
On
Little
what?
hook in a trading range.
Who?
Starbucks.
Yeah, 30-minute high would be good. Yeah. It's a big old consolidation following the gap. Yeah, no, Roberto, I was kidding. Greg doesn't like bottoming patterns. Although we had very nice profit on one yesterday. That's a bottoming pattern.
They tend to work out a lot better when the market's bottoming or it already has bottomed, and then they start playing catch up.
All right, Nixra alarm. Let me check puts also. We would do the 1.25, 10 DTE, $1.10 by $5. Thank you very little. All right, Roblex. I wasn't focused on. So buyers. Now with the bad news of Hindenburg, they should jack these up. Yeah, and they spreads 33.5 puts or 2 cents by $1.08. Jerk. And 35 puts, midpoint 30 cents is all. I would have thought more. Although it says implied volatility is 106%. All right, affirm bottom right is coming in too hard. That gap, that was a very bullish gap. It should not be coming in this hard, but I'll still watch them for 30 minutes. Hold. Yeah, continuation pattern. Maybe wait a little longer, but yeah. K-Web bouncing here a little bit. I'll watch it, see how high it can get. Charlie Mike was shorted yesterday. You can add yesterday's low. Looks good. And those are all my alarms. Yeah. I still like LRCX if it can get over that last pivot right here, Friday's high. ITA military fine. All right, G, I'm glad it didn't trigger, but if it does, it's still a good pattern. Nixra coming in hard. BAC, we shorted puts on. Route, we're still long stock. It's like dead money right now. We're flat. FDM, we shorted the 210 puts. GNRC, long stock. See, that's a deep retracement. Maybe they heard me saying pre-market that why did it run so much yesterday? Maybe they're taking some profits now. Mature, we bought a half lot yesterday. MU, we're long stock over yesterday's high. You can add, which should not happen unless the semis are doing well. In the video, top of the range though, I see Cisco selling off a little. Costco, Home Depot. Wow, I got a bunch of alarms going off here. Team alarm. I would love if it were to close like this. Serve Quattro. Quattro. This was a break even alert. So we're back to break even, but it looks fine. Could have just been a slow mover. So this is one that I will not get us out break even because it looks fine now. Set an alarm though at 79 and a new up alarm at 80 spot 50. And then if it goes to 80.50, I'll move it to break even. Wow, look at team bottom right here, ripping. Man, that's 3 big bars. All right, Oracle has a top and tail now. I'm gonna put an alarm at break even. Roku, we're in. RTX, taking a breather today. TMOS, fine. Well, the UIS, I remember I had that posted and I canceled it. So obviously must have come back. Um, I yeah, I've been mentioning a bunch, but I don't recall to give you a tier one. But yeah, we've talked about a lot of day trades. I mean, this could be one right here. 30-minute high, Gurvinder. TMOS 30-minute high. Looks good. RTX, man. But the broader markets, they're just kind of range bound here on 15 hourly charts, so they're not helping. On WBA, alarm, but still nothing. I'll just set it higher. 892 now. Sam mentioned cold. You could day trade short that per vendor, 30-minute low, stop days high. There you go. It's perfect. 30-minute low. So wait till 10 a.m. and then short under the day's low. Stop days high. Day trade. There you have it. This team, bottom right. Let's watch a pullback. This could be one also if we get, maybe a 5-minute buy setup or something. And we're still long calls on this. Let's set an alarm. Yesterday's low now, 2178. All right, seeing that team's coming in a little hard. Yeah, no, Roberta, that's been going on for a while. That TMUS has been remember the T-Mobile, I remember they bought, they were a startup. I remember they had to spend a lot of money on marketing, and like I didn't know anybody that went there. And then I remember they acquired Sprint, and they've done a hell of a job fundamentally. Oh, nice on Adobe yesterday, you all. I know Sam and Alex were trading that. Do you remember, Sam, our $1,000 bet? I said if it goes sideways $2 more, it's going to blast through to 500. You can pay by cash, Venmo, or Rum Runners. Oh, I forgot to look at G-Man outputs. 230s. Wow, massive juice. All right, so I think I like this. Man, the 220s for Friday? All right, I found us a trade here. 55 cents. Man. 245.85. We can do it right here. We're already in it, Ron. Let me look at it. We're 2PT in. Right, Uber. Yeah, well, yeah, it does look better now. So yeah, let's move stuff. Yesterday's low, 73.68. Yeah, my alarm just went off on a Quattro. Yeah, Quattro looks better now. I'll just set the alarm higher. 81. Middle. Yeah, middle looks, yeah, I like the 15 too. Yeah, let's buy middle. Um, Stop yesterday's low. There, that's a day trade too, Gurvinder. If it's a day trade, you put your stop under, 37.10. See? Yeah, I'll set an alarm. I'm going sideways enough. 63.02. VIX new low. But I already moved stuff to break even. Like sold half yesterday. So yeah, the October 20 calls. $20 calls. All right, so yeah, we're a dime away from break even. So I'll just let that play out. Um, and, all right, let me post this. Little. Oh, Alex, your UIS, I forgot. I would like it better if it closes like this and then tomorrow over the high. I guess, I need it to settle down with a crazy bottom and tail range today. Let me see if there's any 5.5 puts. Zero by 75. It's nuts. So you know what? I'm gonna go 65. For the $5 puts. See if some fool will fill me. All right, team bottom right is a buy setup. Um, Greg, what do you think? Quiet today. What do you think of this team 5-minute buy setup?
If it take you talk about team, Dan?
Yeah, if you like 5-minute buy setup entry?
Interesting that you do that. You usually don't.
Well, of course I do. If it's a controlled pullback intraday, it came down a little hard. It's my only kind of concern, but the daily is fantastic.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, sure.
All right, so the next question is where's the stop?
Well, if you put it under today's low, it
No,
ain't
no,
going to be good.
no. Let me dig into the 15-minute chart. Let's see if I can find
It's
something
got to
higher.
be under here at a minimum. It's got to be under the wide range bar.
Well, that's what I was afraid you were going to say.
Well, it's only about share sizing. That's all.
It's the same discussion, Greg. Then we get all these tiny little gains, and
You got well.
what we talked about over the weekend.
Well, no, you got to add to it. So if you're going to buy a 5-minute buy setup with half size or a third size here, when it takes out the high of the wide range bar, you have to add to it or any other ad setup.
All right, I was going to go full in, but
You can go full in. You could do that. I mean, you would do it more with a confirmation of trading over the highs, and then stop under the 20 and repeat, repeat, repeat. People need to understand share sizing.
Came in much better last week. Still about 4%. Two-year yield just below that 4%. I'm hitting those levels last seen in August. We're 30 minutes here into the trading session. Here are the movements we're watching. Shares of roadblocks under pressure. Hindenburg Research disclosing a short position in the stock, saying the video game company has been lying to investors and regulators about the number of users on the platform. Much more on that story straight ahead. Look at Affirm shares. They're rallying today. The buy now, pay later. Got an upgrade to buy $68 price target at BTIG. And then China-related stocks are dropping pretty sharply here after the country's state plan.
yeah, I'm going to give a stop right here. 162.88.
Well, isn't that under the wide range bar?
No, it's just a tad higher. It's from here to here. So it's 161, so like $1.80 higher. 162.88. Roku up alarm. Let me make sure we have a full position. If not, it might be time to end. Roku. Yeah. Well, let me make sure we have a. I forget how much we have. Yeah, we have half lot. Oh, I already said by half over 77.30. Okay, cool. So we're already in. Um, yeah, I'm glad I did that yesterday. So, yeah, no, over. I didn't finish up to. We have 72.68.
It's been raining for days now. Maybe it just gets worse. Yeah, I imagine so. Oh, at least it isn't 100-mile-an-hour winds. Last I looked, the wind wasn't even supposed to be bad, which is surprising.
Yeah, they say it's tropical storm winds.
What does that mean as far as miles per hour?
I think they measure it by gusts, and I said gusts of I think 45. Oh yeah, it's a bad rainstorm with wind, but I would have to Google it to get the proper definition. But category 5, I saw on the news, is 157 miles an hour.
The city of Sunny Isles Beach has been working on power under the ground for like 3 years. Most of it's under the ground. There are still sections that are above.
Yeah, there was some news on Uber today. Is it is it just more talk with Tesla robo taxi? Airbnb moving here. That could have Gervinder, that could have been a day trade, 15-minute high, stop low. Day trade only, not crazy about a swing. Although it is a bullish weekly. Roblex here, they sure bought that dip. Or do you think that was Hindenburg covering their short? You know, this thing, this Gillette coming in hard. Glad it didn't trigger.
It's good, Dave. It's right near that prior high. You might get it, in the 5 minutes extended after a wide range bar. Might get a better entry.
Yeah, yeah, that's a little bull rectangle, bullish weekly monthly. And defense sector too.
UNFI, kind of low volume sometimes. Well, not really. Today's, well, probably trades an average of 1.5 million. Set an alert. See if it starts moving. Yeah, sure. Hmm.
For 125 years, always looking forward, anticipating this, and profit to manage over $1 trillion in assets worldwide. Think of the need of investors today and tomorrow. That's needed.
Yeah, looks good, Dave. Like it. Yeah, I think I'll wait for the afternoon, but I like it. There's no 47 puts. That's stupid. That's 45, 46, 48, 50. How stupid is that? They're still too spready. There, Roberto. Bluetooth. 109. No, I don't trust it. No way. It's a nasty gap. No support. No way, Jose. Not my style. Jose is your middle name, right, Stephen? No way, Jose. Humana is substantially better idea. Hey, isn't this the Amazon Prime Deal Day? Usually stocks up on that day, but that's a bear island reversal under yesterday's low. I think it's a magnet to the 200, if not lower. Oracle up alarm. Now we can move stop. Perfect.